Hi, my name is Kurt, and you're watching Beautiful Chinese, where I teach you how to recognize and translate Chinese characters into English, and I show you how to write the characters. All right, and when it comes to writing, there is a thing called stroke order. They have so many strokes, so many lines, if you will, that they make up strokes. So in this first lesson, we have 11 characters, and I didn't write down the English translation because they're numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no, not 11, 100. There's 11 characters there, but if you want to do 11, you would put 10 first and 1 after. You put the 10 first and then the 1. Which way do I point my hand? Anyway, so 1 character, for example, 4. Put that first and then 10, and you have 40. So they're different combinations. So if you wanted 99, 9, 10, 9. All right, so now you have 100, meaning all by itself it is 100. If you want 500, 5 first, and then 100. All right, 100 and, well, let's say 755. Okay, 7, 100, 5, 10, 5. That's 755. So I didn't write the English translation, mainly because, well, they're numbers. It's pretty easy. We're going to go over the stroke order now. Let me explain my little whiteboard. All right, as kids, Chinese kids would have this graph paper, right? And they're boxes. They would use each box to draw characters. They might do the same character for one line and then another character for another line. And it might be 10 boxes across, 20 boxes. I don't know. Whatever graph paper is. I'm going to think about this as graph paper, but this is one box. So I'm going to try to, if it's one stroke, like the number 1, then I'm just going to draw it through the middle. So let me show you how the stroke order works. 1, so left to right. 2, top to bottom. That's typically the order or direction that you're going to go from left to right, and you're going to go from top to bottom. 90% of the characters of the order that you draw a character will do that. Some of them, maybe 95%. Some of them are slightly different. All right, so 1 is real easy. Just one line across, and I try to put that in the middle. And let me get my eraser. So I'm starting left and it's going to the right. Now let's look at number 2. The top line is shorter than the bottom line, and the bottom line probably could be longer. So the first stroke and the second stroke. This is the number 2. All right. Three, let's look at 3. There are 3 lines that are horizontal. And if you notice, the top one is like the medium length, the middle one is the shortest length, and the bottom one is the longest length. That's pretty typical for horizontal lines. If you look at the number 5, it's the same way. So let's do 3. First stroke, second stroke, third stroke. That's the number 3. All right. So take a look at number 4. It's a box. Now boxes are interesting in that the last line or stroke that you write is always going to close the box. So you always finish what's inside of the box before you finish the whole character. The end stroke or the last stroke will close the box, and it's always on the bottom. So here's what you do first. It's the first stroke. And the second one has 2 lines. It goes a little bit further down than the first stroke. So 1 going down, 2, now you do this, 3, 4, and then you close the box. 5 strokes. This is the number 4. Alright. Next is the number 5, and like I said, there are vertical lines. The middle one lengthwise is the top, the short one is in the middle, and the longest one is on the bottom. So let's do that one. Number 5. 1, 2, but that has 2 directions that it goes. 3, 4. That's the number 5. Number 6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's number 6. Seven. So 1, 2. It's actually just 2 strokes. So you go 1, 2, 3 directions with the second stroke. All right. 8. 8 is just 2 strokes. So the first stroke and the second stroke. All right. There's 8. Now, of course, fonts on computers might look slightly different, but as long as it has that same basic shape. Matter of fact, some of them probably look like this. Fonts like these 2 lines at the very top start at the same level. They're even, but it looks slightly different when you write it on hand with your handwriting, I guess is the best way to put it. So, fonts are different. That we have all kinds of fonts in English too. Just have to recognize the basic shape. 9. I pointed at 100, didn't I? 9. 1 stroke. This one is only 2 strokes. 2. So that's number 9. 10 is also 2 strokes. And so, just like this, we're going to follow this in order. 1, 2. That's not even, but 1, you start from left to right. 2, top to bottom. So 1, 2. It's the number 10. Now, if we look at 100, it is a box. There's a line between it in the middle. So don't forget that the last stroke will close that box. But we start at the top, of course. First stroke. Second stroke's not very big. Third stroke. Fourth stroke. Fifth stroke. Sixth stroke. 100. Okay. And all right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 100. 11 easy characters to start our first lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys stick around. And by the way, on the bottom, if I just do 6 characters, there's enough space for something on the bottom. I'll probably put some kind of salutation, some phrase, some short sentence at the bottom, in hopes that once we go through other lessons, you could go back to the earlier videos and say, hey, I recognize that character. Maybe you don't know the whole sentence at the bottom, but you recognize, let's say there's 4 characters there. You recognize 2 of them after maybe the 10th lesson. I don't know. I'm just throwing out numbers, just guessing. It all depends on if those characters happen to be in the lessons or not. And then you can go back to the previous videos and say, yeah, I understand that. That word is you, or that word is good, for example. I'm going to do that from now on because I used all this space for the 11 words, the 11 characters. If I just do 6, there will be enough room for the 6 characters plus the English definitions and 1 blank line. I did that in my previous YouTube channel, also called Beautiful Chinese. But it's maybe kind of a refresher, a reminder. Maybe it's just to help you recognize, start to recognize the characters. There are many characters that look very similar, so you have to pay attention to the strokes and the little dots, the extra little pieces on there. That's the hardest part for me when I learned Chinese, is all the extra little, how similar one character could look to another character. So here, for example, let's just go over one. All right, this is king. If I add a dot, that means the stone, jade, not the specific stone, jade. So one little dot makes all the difference. King and jade. Jade, the stone, the precious metal. I think it's a precious metal. Is it a precious metal or a precious stone? So that one dot makes all the difference in the world. So yeah, but that's the fun part, is recognizing that slight extra, one extra dot or one extra stroke makes all the difference in the world. I'm not trying to make it make you feel like, oh, you can't figure this out. Hey, it took me several years, but I figured out the difference, and I'm here to help you figure out the difference as well. So I hope you guys stick around, and don't forget, I have another channel. It's called Music is Fun and Art, and I hope you guys subscribe, tell your friends, and come back and keep watching these videos. See you guys in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.